throughout the building. You know, I don't know if it was blowing throughout the building, but fumes are fumes. They get out. But this possibility would not be in play if the students were released to the fresh air waiting outside. Was the school system afraid that they might be yelled at for turning loose these students before the school was supposed to let out around 2 or 2:30? They're all let out at the same time, around the same time anyway. There's no problem. It seems to me that the health and safety of our kids is more important than the political correctness here. Here's Channel 12's report on yesterday's meeting between the school administrators and the health department and representatives, and the parents. Can you play that, please?
Safety. Well, this morning, the Genesee County Health Department came to the school to address those concerns. ABC 12's Shannon Johnson was there.
As soon as mercury vapors hit the air at Flint Northern High School last Wednesday, so did concerns.
My grandson, he was right across the hall. His classroom was.
This morning, representatives with the Genesee County Health Department came out to put parents' nerves at ease.
There were not really high levels in the breathing zone area, but they were going to get that way very quickly if they hadn't have turned off the ventilation, turned off the heat, and stopped it from vaporizing.
The school contracted with the company that cleaned up and monitored the situation over the weekend.
We actually removed windows, got some major ventilation through there to reduce vapors. Then they did some clearance testing that came back at all normal levels, so that's why school's open today.
The biggest question is, why was there even mercury in this building when all schools were mandated to be mercury-free by the year 2004 by state law?
Well, I was left here probably because this teacher that was in that classroom retired, and I don't think it had been checked at that time, but at this point, I'm not quite sure why.
Principal White says if there are any other prohibited chemicals in the building, they are out as of today.
M&O personnel who does our OSHA evaluation will come in and look at all the chemicals and make sure that they are here legally, that can be used by students, and if there's any that's not supposed to be in here that's mandated by state law, they will be removed immediately.
A small spill would prompt this scene all over again, a scene that ended up costing $5,000 an hour to clean. In Flint, Shannon Johnson, ABC 12 News.
Now you heard that woman from the health department say the vents were turned off, and so they'd stop circulation in the building. You know, what the hell is she saying? Why are those kids in the building in the first place? They should have been out in the drive or the parking lot or wherever. Get them away from that school. They leave them in there locked down. They say, well, we turned off. When did you turn it off? How much got out into the rest of the school? You know, it goes back to this situation. What in the world is mercury doing in any school since it was supposed to be out of there in 94 or whatever, 204, whatever? Didn't anybody check? Says, well, it was a retired school teacher. Well, wait a minute. Somebody's got to go in and check that. How many other schools now in the Flint system have this? Our kids in these schools, in the Flint schools, deserve better. Don't take them for granted. Somebody go in there and take care of our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors. They have a right to expect that. Now, have we heard anything about them going out and checking all the schools? No, we haven't heard that. They want this thing to die down. It's another example. Where is Milton saying every school is going to be checked? to make sure there is no dangerous chemicals still in the schools, whether it's mercury or whether it's anything. Why wasn't an inventory taken? Well, I made the point. I'm just really disgusted with this Flint school system, the way it's being run. I think we got good teachers in the Flint system. They've been around a long time. Many of them have seniority, know how to teach. But how can you allow this to go unchecked? And the obligation is the district, the administrators, to set up a program for monitoring things like that, and apparently there is none. It seems to me that it might have been difficult to explain to parents why these youngsters were locked down in an airtight building after the spill was discovered, and then it took 5 days to let air into the building, fresh air outside into the building, to make sure it was clean. But here we have these kids locked down in a school for 2-3 hours after the spill was discovered, instead of letting them out of the building where they would have been clearly safe. Well, anyway, let me go on to another subject, see if we can get through this here. When, you know, from all the recent publicity on public corruption engaged in by public officials on the national level, you might think it's only Washington. It's only a Washington phenomenon. Think again. Local politicians are in the forefront of trying to pad their own pockets, feather their own nest at the expense of local taxpayers. Let me give you an example of what I